Hey guys! So I am currently at a friend's house dog sitting, but last week I was down in South Carolina with my entire family and then some, and we were just having a family vacation and we got to do a bunch of stuff. We drove down Friday, August 3rd at like 8 p.m., drove through the night, and then got to Folly Beach at around 12:30, 1 o'clock I think on Saturday, and we couldn't get into our house until 4, so we were just hanging around like totally exhausted and hungry, so we grabbed some food and then we just kind of hung around that like main street, and we went to souvenir shops and another bar. I think my sister and cousin and brother went to another bar, so we met up with them there. And there's actually a really funny video. My dad was absolutely exhausted and he just like fell asleep in the booth of the bar we were at, and I'll show you that right now.
My mom wants us to go to the Irish bar and meet her. She said they're having a deal on Jameson. Jay's sleeping.
But it was amazing. It was so funny to just look over and be like, oh, Dad's out. Yeah, okay. So once we were able to get into the house, we unpacked, we probably ate again because we just love snacks. And then we were like all asleep by 8 because we were all just exhausted from being in the car. And then the next day was just like a beach day and like a walking around Folly Beach area day. So I didn't film any of that because it was just us sitting. Like that's all it was. It was just sitting in a beach chair, sitting on a bar stool, sitting in a different bar stool, sitting in a restaurant. Like that's all it was. So the real vacation, well, not like the real vacation, but like the touristy vacation started on Monday when me and my dad and my brother and a cousin and her dad went to Fort Sumter, which was really cool. We took a boat ride over, and on the boat my dad, again just being himself, was reading a map or something, or like the info guide, but he had his sunglasses and his reading glasses on. Always the coolest one. Oh my goodness.
Shut up, Julie.
You take the ferry and we're going, and you pass this other fort called Castle Pinckney. And on it, there's a French flag flying. And we're like, oh, that's so bizarre. Why is there a French flag flying? And there's a ranger that comes in. He's like, no, it's not a French flag. And like, we were kind of far away, so we were like, oh, maybe it's not. And he was like, no, it's a Confederate flag. And we were like, well, I've never seen that kind of Confederate flag before. And he was like, yeah, that island is owned by the Sons of the Confederacy. That's one of their flags. And we were like, oh, okay. It wasn't. My brother Googled it. It was a French flag. It was they do different flags for different holidays. So like on Bastille Day, they put a French flag up, which is what this was still celebrating. For St. Patrick's Day, they'll do an Irish flag. Like it was not a Confederate flag at all. So for the rest of the trip, if we ever did like a rose and thorn, we'd be like, a thorn was that ranger who lied to us. And I don't know why he didn't know that, but he had no idea. He was like, no, it's a Confederate flag. And we were like, no, it's not. Whatever. So we finally get to the fort and we get to walk around and go in a museum, and it's really cool because they have the original flag that like flew that day when the Civil War started, which is just crazy. And it was very cool to see, plus the museum was air conditioned, so that was a plus. They also have like an American flag out there, and on the flagpole there's this red tape that shows where the fort used to be, because now it's like it got destroyed a little bit, so now it's like 2 stories lower than it used to be. And it's just a very pretty fort. It looks out into the water and all this great stuff. And it was just really cool to see its history. And they have giant cannons there and all this stuff. And there is a piece of a shell, like a cannon shell, still stuck in the wall of the fort. So it's been there since like 1862, 63, something like that. So I touched it for good luck because I was like, heck no, this thing lasted this long, like that's got to be lucky, right? So the next day we spend them at breweries, because that's like my brother's favorite thing to do, is go to different breweries. So the first one we went to is called Holy City, which is a nickname for Charleston, and they had like pool tables and cornhole and all this fun stuff to do. And of course there were craft beers to drink, because that's why we were there. So a bunch of people in the group got to like paddle things, and I'm not a huge craft beer drinker, so I was like taking tiny sips of everyone, but I was mostly drinking water, which maybe isn't that exciting. And the next one we went to is called Free House, and we were the first ones there. It had just opened. We were the first ones there, and we were basically the only ones there the whole time we were there. There was a sign that said no pets, but they had a pet cat, so whatever. This place also had like darts and cornhole and more fun things to do.
It's a video. But that works.
And we went to one last one, which was actually kind of, we got food catered because we threw my cousin a surprise party. So we went there and we were like, oh, we'll go here and then we'll just get food from here or whatever. We ordered food from here anyway.
On my toe. Oh my God, you're making me sweat.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Amanda. We love you. Happy birthday to you.
We got to tour the grounds of this old rice plantation. We saw the gardens, and there was a maze that we went through that we struggled to get through for a couple minutes, but then we're able to figure it out.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Dead end.
Is this the layout?
I think we're looking for the middle.
Going this way. Mason, this way.
Cheater.
Peanut fucking eater. Guess we have to go this way. This way.
Thank you.
Up dead end.
Mud.
Ooh.
Watch out, squishy mud. Squishy over here.
We're back on the road.
Back on the road.
This way.
That's not a way.
Which way do we have to go this
I
way?
have a feeling this is a good way, Mason.
Oh no. How do we get through?
Well, if we can't go that way, which way can we go? There you go.
Firewood.
Uh-oh.
Find a way out.
All right, well, we're back at the beginning, so.
That was a goal. Good.
Isn't it the middle?
I know, I'm thinking. Is that it? Oh, you got in the middle? Are you in the middle?
Way to be a team player, Mike. We're in the middle. Hello.
Right here. Follow our voice. How'd you get out there? Marco.
How do we get out?
Marco.
I don't know how we get out.
Marco. I see you. Wrong way, wrong way, wrong way.
Hey! Wrong way.
Where's Gogs?
She went out and was
She's up
staying.
there she is.
Hi guys.
Hi, Mace.
We found you.
Where do we have to go?
I don't know. You're stuck
Bye
there.
guys, we're leaving.
Smell you later.
Where's Gogo?
We lost her.
Oh.
She's the mazes now.
The grounds were really pretty. We saw this bridge. We walked over it. It was a little rickety because it's pretty dang old.
Bridge doesn't seem too sturdy.
We also saw a boat called the Miss Juliana, but don't worry, I took care of it.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
They didn't have, but like no continental.
Fixed it.
Oh, it was all rice.
And we toured, so like while you're there you pay to get in, but then you can pay a really small amount to do different tours. So we toured the house itself and learned about all the different families that lived in it. Well, it's like one family, but how it was passed down through the families that lived there. And then we also took a boat tour on this giant lake or pond, I guess it's on the property, and we saw alligators and different types of birds and all this stuff. And I really wanted to see like a big alligator. Like I was like, if I'm gonna see an alligator, I want to see like an alligator. But we didn't. We only saw like a little baby alligator. But it was pretty cute. And it was a nice little boat ride to go on. And then we ended up right before we left in a petting zoo that was on there.
Oh, look at this guy.
There's a deer over there too.
Just chilling.
I'm like scared that something's gonna come get me.
I think that's just at night. Maybe they put them in there. Oh. No.
Turkey. Big one right there. Look at the size of it.
Yeah, those are big suckers. Like a deer.
Little deer. Gracie the deer.
Oh, no, I don't like that.
Wild animals amongst you.
Yeah, no, thank you. Vultures.
Him up in the back.
Yeah.
I was telling everyone I was going to Charleston. I had no idea where I was staying. I just followed my sister. We were going to Folly Beach, but so we spent a day in Charleston.
Cool, dude. Yeah.
You don't have to do that. Can I take a picture of you?
It's going. You just hold the camera. Hi, Mason. Hi. Are you all done? What are you getting?
I want to take a picture of you.
Okay, let's see.
We went to a restaurant that ended up being a chain, which we weren't like thrilled with because we wanted to try something new, but obviously it's a chain that, it was like an ale house, and it's a chain that we don't have in Massachusetts, so we were like, okay, whatever, fair enough. So on Monday, when we were at Fort Sumner, my cousin saw a candy store. She was like, oh, Mason's gonna love that. So we go back to the house, we're like, Mason, we saw a candy store in Charleston. When we go to Charleston, you can go as long as you're really good. We called them and they said as long as your mom goes in first and says how good you were, you can get whatever you want. And that's what we told him. So all week he's so excited for this candy store. And so we're in Charleston. We took 2 different cars because there was a lot of people. So the first car, we're like, oh, did you see that candy store? It's right near the parking lot. Whatever, we go, we walk around all day. He's doing really good, but he's kind of like, okay, when do I get to go to this candy store? And we're like, oh, it's coming, it's coming. So we go, and this is what happens.
Candy. Right there.
Mom has to be here first inside.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Mom, go in and Mom, you have to
Mom, go in and tell them. Tell him he was good so he can get candy.
You have to go in and ask.
No, you have to go first.
There's no candy in here. It's jewelry.
No.
Yes.
Wait.
Oh no.
Okay, we're at the wrong place. Let's go.
Go.
I mean, it's a candy shop.
Well, I mean, I was over there.
3 hours away.
Any candy? There's a couple.
What are they flying?
Oh shit.
It wasn't a candy store. It was a boutique, but it was called Candy Shop Vintage, so we thought it was gonna be like penny candy. Nope. Necklaces. The poor kid. The poor kid. That's all he wanted to do all week, and we hyped it up so high and just nothing. But he did eventually get to a candy store, thank goodness, but not that day. That night, I went to a River Dogs game with a couple other people. And it was really cool. It's really cheap. It was minor league game. We got great seats right behind home plate, and we're there. It's nice out, and then all of a sudden, it gets pitch black. Like these clouds come in, and it is dark. And some people get up to leave, and we're like, no, we'll wait it out. It's not raining. Like there's some lightning over there, but that could just be heat lightning. No, we ended up sitting behind all the scouts, and at one point they just all stood up and left, and we're like, all right, we gotta go. So we packed up and left early. I think they ended up calling the game anyway. So the last full day, I didn't want to go to the beach. I'm not a beach person, so I just wanted to walk the pier. There's this pier at Folly Beach. I'd been looking at it all week. I was like, I want to walk down it. So that's what me and my sister and my mother and my brother did. And then we're there, and my mom and sister were gonna go down to the beach afterwards. And my cousin's texting us, they're like, the beach is closed, the beach is closed. And we're like, what are you talking about? There are people on the beach, but no one was in the water because I guess there was Portuguese man-of-war in the water. So we ended up just back at the house in the pool, which was fine. And then that night, we all went to bed very, very early, I think like 9 o'clock. Woke up at 3 a.m. and made the journey back to Massachusetts. We got home at about 9:30 p.m. It was so much fun to hang out with everyone. We had great laughs, and it was great. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.